Hey guys, Mark McKillier here with Live Anabolic, and today we're going to be talking about our core. Alright, what is one of the first things women notice when you have your shirt off? Your core, your abs. It looks fantastic, and so it's really important that we know how to train our core, but also I just want to give you an overview today of what our core is used for, and then also give you 4 specific exercises that we normally don't do that are called anti-rotation exercises. So guys, why is our core so important? Well, a lot of people don't realize how many muscles are actually involved in your core. Most people just think it's your abs, right? Well, that's why I have this picture up here. So every single muscle that is connected either to your spinal column or to your pelvis is part of your core. So that's everything around your torso, including down to your hips. All right, guys? And so all these muscles are used not just to stabilize and straighten you up, okay, but they do lots of other things. So let me just go through a long list here, and I promise you probably haven't even heard of any of these things before, much less even considered them. Well, guess what? It's obviously important to have a good core for your posture. All right, everybody understands that. But your core is used to stabilize your spine. You know all those little vertebrae in your spine? I mean, all the muscles around your whole torso tense up and flex to offload pressure from all those vertebrae. So guys, if you're doing a back squat and you see guys doing it, you may not be doing it, but these big strong guys at the gym, they might put 400 pounds on a bar, okay, and put it on their shoulders. Now they have 400 pounds transferred through their spinal column, those little tiny vertebrae, all right? So how does that happen? It would just crush the disc in between your vertebrae and cause all kinds of problems, okay? But what happens is when you start to support a big heavy weight like that, all the muscles in your core, okay, everything, all the way down to your pelvis, tense up. And then that weight, that load is transferred through the muscles and not through your spinal column. That's why you can lift so much weight, okay? So guys, if you're picking up a couple of really heavy suitcases, look, the weight is going up your arm to your shoulder and then down your spinal column. That's really, so even though you're holding the weight down here, the weight is really trying to be transferred through your spinal column, and we don't want that. A strong core offloads the weight that you're holding in your hands, and it transfers it from the spinal column to all these muscles, okay, that are in your torso. So it's really, really important. Now, of course, it also affects our balance and our coordination. So, I mean, as you're walking, all right, you don't even think this, but you're constantly having to engage your core. So anytime you're doing an explosive movement, if you're running or changing directions or trying to catch a ball, okay, anything like that, you're using your core. So the stronger it is, the better that you're going to be at any sport. So I don't care whether it's tennis, you know, we like to think of twisting, okay, as being something that is involved with your core, and of course it is, but it's not just twisting, you know, bending down, standing up, all right, leaning backwards, side to side. All those movements are controlled by dozens of muscles in our core. Now guys, you know, once again on the TV here, this is just some of the bigger muscle groups. Now, you guys might have seen some of my previous videos, but there's lots of layers, okay? So in our back, we have muscles on top of muscles. In your abs, you have all kinds of muscles that lay under an outer layer of muscles. Matter of fact, there's 3 deep, and some of the muscles are vertical, some of them are completely sideways, and some of them are at an angle, okay? And they're all working together to provide the strength of your torso, your core, and to basically offload so much pressure from your spinal column. So guys, if you have a bad back, and when I say bad back, I'm typically talking about bad discs, okay? A lot of times that's caused because of a weak core. So our core muscles are, you know, important for all kinds of reasons, and another reason is your core is what allows you to transfer energy from your lower body to your upper body, and vice versa, from your upper body down to your lower body. So it is the mechanism by which force is applied going both directions, just depending on what you're doing, whatever the movement is, whatever the exercise, okay, or the sport. All right. And then another thing most people don't even know about or even consider is that having a nice strong core is actually good for continence. All right, it's good for your bowel movement. So if you have a weak core, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have problems with your bowel movements, but it sure doesn't help. All right, so guys, lots of great reasons to strengthen our core, and then also we're just gonna go over briefly what we normally do to train our core. I mean, all you guys, and I'm not going to demonstrate these exercises, I'm just going to kind of mention them to you. So most of the exercises we do to strengthen our core are movement exercises. So we're crunching, we're lifting our knees, we're rotating, okay? We might be doing on the ground doing Russian twists. We might be on our back doing alternating or side to side bicycle cross crunches, okay? We might be doing leg lifts, scissor kicks, flutter kicks. There's all kinds of ways to train your core, okay? But today we're going to focus on something called anti-rotation exercises. So a lot of times we're twisting, all right? So those are rotation exercises. But sometimes your body needs to resist. Okay, so there's a force being applied to you and your core is tensing and all it's doing is resisting an external force, okay, that's trying to turn your body, but you're trying to resist it, okay? And so that's what we're going to do today. 4 exercises that are going to help you resist twisting movements. Okay, so let's get to the 4 exercises. Now, a lot of you all have probably heard of these exercises before and even done them, okay? But you may not have realized that what you were doing was an anti-rotation core movement. So the very first one I'm going to show you guys is something called a plank shoulder tap. So when we're in a plank position, okay, guess what? I'm engaging a lot of muscles in my core right now. And quite frankly, this is an anti-rotation core movement, right? So my core is engaged and it's preventing me from bending down or going up, okay, side to side. But when I add a shoulder tap in here, nice slow, all right, my core really has to engage. More muscles are being engaged now in my core because my upper body wants to twist. It's got so much force going up one arm, it's trying to twist my torso this way, okay, right? So if I'm on my right arm, all right, my body wants to rotate this way, okay? So I have to engage even more muscles and I have to engage them even harder to prevent that rotation. So all these exercises I'm about to show you are going to train your body to resist some kind of a twisting movement. And those shoulder taps are a great exercise. All right, now this next exercise is called a lateral drag. And a lot of times I'll see people doing it with a sandbag, okay, something big and heavy. You can do it with a dumbbell or you can do it with something light, all right? So you guys can adjust the weight of the object that you're dragging from side to side depending on your fitness level, your ability. So we can start off in a plank position is what we do. Okay, so you need to have a nice wide base, obviously, because I'm going to be grabbing this and dragging it from side to side here. Okay, now this is real light, but when I pull it from side to side, I have to pick my hand up, right? And when I pick my hand up, my torso is trying to turn and I have to resist that movement. Now to make it harder, I can use a dumbbell here, okay? Nice wide stance, big wide base with my feet, and I can pick it up and just drag it from side to side. All right, now guys, I created a military style workout program called Warrior Strong, and in that program, instead of doing dumbbells, I gave you 2 alternatives. We had a 60-pound sandbag, okay, that we used for all kinds of different exercises, and one of them was a sandbag pull-through. Now, we did that out in the field when we're outside, but I also show you guys how to do it inside with nothing but a dumbbell. So this is another really clever, kind of fun exercise to help with your stability, and an anti-rotation movement for your core. Okay, so the third exercise today is something called a renegade row. Now, a lot of times I put this in my workouts to help focus on building a big, strong back. But it also is fantastic for your core, and once again, it's an anti-rotation core movement. So, guys, it depends on how strong you are as to what kind of weight dumbbells you want to use. But once again, you have to have a nice wide base with your feet here, okay? Because what I got to do is I have to transfer my weight slightly to one side and then row the dumbbell up, other side, and row. So yes, we are engaging our back here, but when I pick that dumbbell up and row from side to side, I'm really feeling my core get really tight here, guys. All right, so why are we doing all this? Well, I talked about a lot of the reasons earlier, but when we build a big, strong core, we're also building those great looking abs. And I know diet is really important to showing off those abs. You got to get rid of that fat, but building a big, strong abdominal section is going to look so impressive once you cut that fat down and you get your body fat down to about a 10 to 12% level. That's when all these exercises are really going to start paying off. All right, the fourth and final exercise today, guys, is called a side plank. And these are going to be static side planks, so I'm not going to have you going up and down, all right? Because remember, we are resisting twisting, all right? So in this case, you can do it on your elbows, all right? Put my feet together, and then I'm just going to raise myself up. I like to put my other hand on my hip and just hold it. So it's a static plank. I'm not going up and down here, guys. And this is a deal where you don't count reps, you just count seconds, okay? So everybody can adjust according to your particular fitness level. So you may want to do it for 10 or 15 seconds, or guys that are in better shape, knock out half a minute, all right? Flip over, do it on the other side, and repeat several times. So another great way to build our core, guys, in a way that we typically don't do. So many of our ab exercises are focused really just on the front, okay? those vertical muscles that causes, our torso to crunch. These exercises I showed you today, these 4 exercises, are gonna fill out, okay, so many of the other little tiny muscles, the stabilizer muscles that we neglect when we are normally just doing crunches or knee raises or something like that. So guys, really easy. Throw these into some of your ab workouts if you're not already doing them, and I promise you, you're gonna feel soreness in areas that you haven't felt before. So there's lots of reasons why we want to train our core. Tennis, golf, all right? Just picking up suitcases and walking around, putting your kid or your grandkid on your shoulders, running around, jogging, okay? Running sprints, going up and down stairs. Everything you do, anytime you pick up a weight, you may think you're doing a curl, all right? Right, I'm just focusing on my biceps right here, right? Well, the weight is way out here in front of me, which means it's trying to pull me forward, which means my core has to stabilize to keep me from falling forward. So anytime we do any exercise, any kind of a movement, all right, it all depends on and relies on a good, strong core. So it's great for sports. It's absolutely necessary for working out, and it doesn't hurt in the bed either. So guys, you're not going to get a really good, strong core overnight, but if you stick with it and never give up on yourself, you'll get there.